Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com and welcome to the next video in our Angular practice series. So what we're going to be doing here is actually just creating a component. So we're not necessarily going to learn any kind of new features per se, in a sense that before we talked about ngIf and ngFor and the click events. Here it's going to be more like how can we break up our code into several sort of self-contained components. So that thing that we've already used. So if we go over here to our source, we've had one component, our app component. How could I create another one? Well, you just do that in your terminal. That's one of the great things about the Angular CLI, that you don't have to work too hard to make a new component. You don't have to put up all this boilerplate yourself. You just type in ng generate. I think you just type in component. And then it should ask you like a question. So we're going to wait for that to generate a thing. What would you like to name your component? Okay, let's name it Hello World. Okay, and see it creates all the files you need. So now if I go back to where my app component is, it's going to create the folder in there because the app is think of it as your root component. Everything starts there. So then every component under it will get its own subfolder with the same files. So it's going to have its own. Well, let me stretch this out a little bit so I can see the extension. Its own CSS file, its own HTML file, its own TypeScript file, and its own test file if you're doing testing. And there you go. Basically everything works the same way. So let's create a quick sort of hello world. So here they already give you a p tag. So I can just leave that like that. We'll stick some CSS in there, so we'll just say that the color of the text on the p tag. So p color is green. Save. And then we will go here, put in a variable of some sort somewhere. So I'll just put it right over here. And I'll just call it cheese equals string hello world. And then again, I always can look at my previous components if I need to refer to how I do anything. Okay. And then I'm going to just change right here where it says hello world and replace that with cheese. Okay. So right now, if I look at my website, I'm not going to see it. I don't see a green hello world anywhere. The reason being is I haven't actually put the component in the website, because let's recap how this all works. Essentially, there is a index.html here, which displays your app or root component. Okay, your app or root component. And that is what you defined over here. But nowhere do we actually put in our hello world component. So I need to go stick that in there. So I'll just do that right over here. Hello world. And actually I'll just do a self-closing, so that way I don't have to do a separate closing tag. Hello world. Now, if I save, we should see the green hello world pop up. It broke. Let's take a look. So first thing I'm going to do is just make sure that I put the right tag. Ah, okay, so there's an issue. It's the tag is app hello world, not just hello world. See, I should have took a look at my TypeScript file. It automatically adds the prefix app. So instead of me changing it there, I'm just going to go over here and change the HTML tag. App hello world. So let's save, see if it's working now. Still broken. Let's examine. Might actually need to app hello world. Let's compare. App hello world. Yes. And let me take a look at nothing here. The app component. Yes. Word component. Word component. Okay, so we got it working. Now here's how we did that. Turns out Angular is very particular about whether it's whether you just put it like in React. You're probably used to just self-closing all your tags like that. Apparently in Angular, I need to put the opening and the closing tag. It was complaining once I put the closing tag, it was working. I also had to put the right tag name, so that was also an issue. But the other issue was the inclusion of a closing tag. Okay, but see, now it just plops that in there. Now if I want, I can. And the great thing about components and component type architecture is once you create a component, you can just use it over and over again. So instead of me having to type in all that code and that CSS for several instances, I can literally just copy this. Now what's going to happen is it's going to repeat all of that 4 times. And while you could copy and paste with normal HTML and CSS, the thing is that if later on you want to change it, you'd still have to go back and change all 4. But here, now if I wanted to change all of those to orange, I just change this line of code here, hit save, and now they should all become orange. Ta-da! So that's the beauty of components. It encapsulates all your styling, all your logic into one little piece that you can reuse over and over again. And the cool thing is you can reuse it as a HTML tag. Okay, so you can just plop it anywhere once the component exists, because when you run, this is the reason why you want to use ng-generate, because it registers it for you. There's actually parts of all these files where you have to register those components. So let me actually just take a quick look through, so if I can find where that actually is. Maybe it's in here in angular.json. Let's see here. Lots of information. Okay, doesn't look like it's here. Yeah, it's in modules. I don't think so, but let's try to have component. Yep, it is here. Okay, so essentially everything kind of gets housed here. So what happens here is when you add that component, it automatically adds it to your app modules file. So see hello world component, hello world, and that way it's all usable. So you don't have to worry about all that work. Okay, like in React, you have to sit there and make sure you do your imports and your exports from component to component. Here you just have this module folder that kind of takes care of everything, and as long as you're using the CLI and you use the tools that are available to you, it kind of makes a lot of that stuff easier. You still have to come back and kind of add certain things here, as I've mentioned before, but yeah, this makes life a lot easier. So in the next video, we'll go over routing. I'll see you guys there.